Welcome CSE 112 class. This is Professor Homa again. I'm going to review some basic things with Word, just the interface mainly, so it'll be a real short clip. Once again, I'll move my Jing interface over, and I'll just go over launching Word and some basic interface terms just to know when you're working with Word. And we're going to be working in Microsoft 2010, Microsoft Office 2010, just so you know. I'm going to start Word from I'm going to go to my Start button. And my Start menu, I have Microsoft Word 2010 up here. Notice some recent files came over. If I didn't see these things there, or you didn't see your applications there, you could go to All Programs and look for your programs there, and it's actually in a folder called Microsoft Office. And I could go down here and find Microsoft Word 2010 and click on that, and that would launch the program. And here's my program launched in Windows 7, and if I minimize it, it would come down here on the taskbar. That's one of the reasons I don't put the icon down there, because a lot of times you're running Word and you're minimizing it. So this is just a minimized file down here, so I could click on that to open it up again. If I clicked on this, it just kind of makes the window float around. If you had separate windows that you needed side by side, you could do that, or if you're looking at multiple windows, but I'm going to maximize it. A couple terms just to know from Microsoft Office. And again, this is 2010, very similar to 2007. A couple little differences. This File tab, which is kind of more like the older versions that they kind of put back in from 2007, that opens up what's called a backstage view. But this thing up at the top is called Ribbon up here, and there's different tabs on this ribbon that'll help you kind of when you're working in your applications. And they're very similar on all the Office applications. You'll have those little tabs in the ribbon up at the top. Just so you know, if you ever needed to hide your ribbon, or if you ever hit it by mistake, there's a little button right up here. See, there's a help button. There's also a hide ribbon, where if it ever went away, that's where it is. So that's how you hide. You can hide the ribbon if you want. If you needed more screen real estate, you can hide the ribbon, but I'm going to leave the ribbon out. Some basic things on the ribbon. Your Home tab is the one you're going to use a lot in Word. Where you have your font formatting, your paragraph formatting, styles over here. One thing I'll just point out on the ribbon, these little buttons here, which I'll go over in some other tutorials when we do things, but they're called your dialog box launchers, and basically they'll open a dialog box very similar to the ones in older versions of the program. So even if you're using an old version of Word, this should look very familiar. This hasn't changed much. It's just now they're kind of hidden or embedded into these ribbon tab areas. So they'll give you some additional options. Some of these things will open up additional palettes that you'll be able to change settings to. So that's the ribbon in Word. Down at the bottom you have your status bar. Let me move this thing over. Here's your status bar where you'll see view. You can zoom down here. I'll just put some type in here. This is some type, just so I have something to work with. You could highlight type by going aside of it or using your cursor to highlight through it, and you could obviously change things here like text color, text size, changing your point size. I'll put it up to 18. Your style, bold, italic, and just unclick to turn them off. That's real basic stuff. Down here there's a zoom where you could kind of zoom in on your document and zoom out on your document. You can also do that from the view. Also has a place where you could zoom. It also has a checkbox for ruler where you could turn your rulers on and off. So there's rulers across the top and rulers down the bottom, which we'll use. The rulers on the top we'll use a lot for your indents, which we'll talk about later. But again, back to my Home tab. A couple other terms. Quick Access Toolbar. This thing up at the top, Quick Access Toolbar, which it has basically your undo, your redo, your save button. You can use this little button next to it, and you could add different things to it if you want. So if you want to customize it, there's a little button to customize your Quick Access Toolbar. That's that little thing up at the top. Okay. There's also a mini toolbar. Sometimes when you type, you'll have a mini toolbar. If you right click, you'll see it come up. This is like a little formatting area that'll come up as you're working. That will kind of help save you time from going up to your Home tab. Alright, I'm running almost past getting very close to my 5-minute mark here, so I'm gonna stop here, and I guess I'll call this part 1 because I may review a couple things, but let me stop here and then I'll just go over a part 2 of your Windows interface, and then we'll be done.